Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Cook It. Today I'm going to make what my friends call Ed's breakfast bake. I have taken this to work a few times and everybody seems to like it. And a couple of people I worked with yesterday said I should make it for my video. Now, I had been working on another video earlier, but I was really riding the struggle bus on that one. It was kept messing up and it just wasn't coming out like I thought it should. So I just scrapped that all together, and so I'm going to start over. And like I said, this is called Ed's Breakfast Bake. I just made up this recipe on my own, just out of the blue one day because we really didn't have much to cook. So I just threw some stuff together, and I'll tell you what it consists of. What I use is the frozen hash browns or home fries. Either one you can use is okay. And I browned some sausage, and we sprinkle that on top, and I pour gravy on it too. Now today I'm going to use pork gravy, but you can use chicken gravy, turkey gravy, beef gravy, any kind of gravy you want, and you can make your own gravy and put on it. But I just bought some jars of gravy today because it's just going to be a lot easier to do it like that. And so I'm just going to throw it together for you. Now what you want to do is you're going to bake it in a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Spray it with some cooking spray just because it may stick, and you don't want that to happen because it just makes cleanup, a little bit more difficult for you. Okay, so I'm going to point the camera down into the dish, put it together, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. All right, here we go. All right, well, there's the baking dish right there. And these are the potatoes you're going to use. So you just want to put those in there like that. Now, these come in a 2-pound bag. You can use the whole 2-pound bag if you want to, but it does take a little bit longer to cook. And also, if you don't have a really deep dish, it tends to overflow, and that's just going to make a mess in your oven. All right, so you kind of get those potatoes spread out there like that. Now, for this recipe, I usually use 2 pounds of sausage. You can use a pound of sausage if you don't want that much meat. You can also make this with ground turkey. You can make this with ground beef as well. I've done all of that. All right, so what you want to do, you just take some of the sausage mixture, pour it in there like that. You're going to spread that around a little bit. You just want those potatoes to be covered. Now, this is also going to have shredded cheese on the top of it, but that's going to be added at the end of the recipe because you don't want to bake that cheese. It'll get actually too brown and it'll burn. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of this sausage on here. Spread that all over. Cover up those potatoes. All right. I think that looks pretty good. All right, you've heard me say it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to taste good. And I'm going to stick with that, even though I do want the food to look pretty for you guys. All right, so to this mixture, I'm going to add some seasonings that I put together in this little dish. Let me show this dish to you. I got this today at Goodwill. It's a little refrigerator dish. Of course, I cleaned it really well with hot soapy water and dried it out. And I just made up some spices and put them in this dish. I think it's going to turn out really well for you if you do that. So just take a little bit of the seasoning, sprinkle it over the meat there. Just season it to how you like it. This is just some steak seasoning, a little bit of salt, pepper, whatever you like. Or if you don't want to put any seasoning at all, that's okay too. Now the kind of sausage I used is just regular pork sausage. I just got the mild. You can use the hot. You can use the sage, whatever you like. Anything will work. All right, and here is the 2 jars of gravy. So what you want to do, you just want to pour it on there. Just back and forth like that. Now, you can really layer this how you want. I just like to put the potatoes on there first. It just gives it kind of a nicer base there. All right. Spread that gravy out over top of the sausage mixture. Now, as this bakes, the gravy will go down into the meat and the potatoes. And I will tell you that you want to bake this in a 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes or so. If you thaw the potatoes first, you don't have to really bake it that long. But these are still frozen when I put them in, so I'm going to give it a little bit closer to 45 minutes just so I can make sure everything is going to be done. So what I'm going to do now is stop the video, pause it, not stop it because I don't want to get into any of those other issues, and going to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. You can cover this with foil if you want to. You don't have to. It's just whatever your preference is. If you do cover it, it just helps it cook a little bit faster. I'm not going to cover this because it's got a lot of gravy on it and it isn't going to dry out, and I think it's going to do just fine. So before we get started putting this in the oven, I want to take this time out to thank everybody for watching the previous 2 videos that I put up. I do want to make a couple comments on the one that I did yesterday with the pork. I'm sorry, I didn't do it yesterday. I worked yesterday, the day before. The baked pork chops. Now the recipe did turn out really well and it was good. I really liked it. Rich really liked it. Everything had a really good flavor. But the video was 16 minutes and 30 seconds long. And when I tried to upload it, I got a notification that the upload failed because the video was longer than 15 minutes. Now, I don't know if I have to have a paid account to upload longer videos. I'm not really sure. I would like to upload longer videos, and so I'm going to look into that because I do see a lot of cooking videos on YouTube, and you know, sometimes they're 30 minutes long and they don't have to put it in 1 or 2 parts. I don't know. I'm just going to have to look that up and see what I need to do. But I wasn't exactly thrilled with that video because of the poor editing I had to do. But I did get some really nice comments about it, some really positive comments, and no one said anything negative, and I really appreciate that. But if you have any tips for me, any hints, whatever, on how to, do a better job editing, drop them in the comment line. I'll read them, and I'll see if I can, figure out a better way to do videos. You probably heard the dogs barking a couple minutes ago. They've been chasing each other around the house. Eddie is right here. He's the other little dog we have, and he has his paws up on my hips, and he wants to see what I'm doing. Of course, he knows there's food involved because every time we come to the kitchen, he has to follow. All right, folks, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to stick this in the oven, bake it about 45 minutes, take it out. We're going to put the cheese on it and then put it back in the oven for about 5 more minutes just to get that cheese really good and melted on the top. Then we're going to cut it and taste it, and I think it's going to be pretty good. All right, folks, so I'll be back in a little bit and we'll get this going and we'll get it finished, and we'll see ya in a little bit. Okay, bye for now. Okay, everybody, we're back. The breakfast bake is done. I've already put the cheese on it and put it under a broiler for about a minute so the cheese would get nice and melted. I'm going to put the camera down here so you can take a look at it. We'll take some out of there and we'll try it. All right, so there you can see the cheese is melted on there. All right. And it's still pretty hot, but what I would recommend is let this sit about 10 minutes or so to cool down a little bit so it kind of sets up. All right, and you can see that steam is really coming off of that. So it's really hot. Potatoes do get hot when they cook. All right. So let's take a little taste of this. See what we think. Look at that steam. Pretty good. Yep, I like it. I think it turned out really good. All right, so if you make this recipe, let me know. And also put the recipe in the description. So if you want to make it, you'll have the recipe. It's really easy. It's really basic. It doesn't take very long to put it together at all. It doesn't take long to cook. And I think you're going to really like it. Leave your comments below in the description, or rather under the video. And please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And like I said before, if you have any recipes that you want me to make, just let me know. I'd kind of like to get some feedback about some things. Rich and I go to the thrift stores a good bit, Goodwill, Salvation Army, stuff like that. And, we find some pretty nice little things. I found some things today. And a couple of my coworkers yesterday were talking about how maybe I should do a video about that. So if you'd like to see some of the Goodwill finds that we have, the thrift store finds, just let me know. I can put them on this channel, and, we'll just see if anyone's interested in that. I'm willing to do it. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here for right now. I'm going to finish the rest of this breakfast bake, which can be made any time of the day. We just call it that. All right, so have a good evening. I hope everything goes well for you, and we'll see you next time here on Let's Cook It. And remember, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to taste good. Have a good night. Bye-bye.